Green and Paul Romanek. Gentlemen.
An old, loud building packed to the rafters. If it were a cloth, it would be soaked with atmosphere. We're looking forward to a great one between the Czech Republic and Sweden. The Czech Republic looking to restore some pride after taking a battering from their fans and the media after a disgraceful performance in their first game in this series. Sweden, meanwhile, looking to pour it on and get set for a big game this weekend against Finland.
Well, Roman Turek is hoping that he's got a lot of help in front of him in tonight's hockey game. But if this Czech team isn't ready tonight, Paul, I don't know when they would ever be ready, because the fans have just been loud. They have been pumped for this hockey game outside the building. They were going crazy with their cheers. That has to put enthusiasm on the bench of the Czechs.
Dan Marouэлli is the referee. Shane Heyer and Gord Brosiker are on the lines. Roman Turek in goal for the Czech Republic. And Т.Сёдерстрём getting the start for Sweden. If you missed it off the top, Tommy Salo, who played in game number 1, has gone back to Stockholm with some kind of a stomach virus, stomach ailment. They wanted it to be checked out more closely.
They thought, first of all, he may have had an appendix problem. When they got to the rink here this morning, he had difficulties. They sent him back to the hotel. Then from there, they put him right on a plane back to Stockholm.
Sweden in blue, the Czech Republic in white, and we are underway. The building is packed. A lot of fans here from Sweden as well, and you will hear them respond if their team can get things rolling in this one. N.Norstrёm clearing it up along the board. There's Jaromir Jagr sliding it down into Swedish territory. P.Nedved up there to forecheck. Here comes Jagr down into the corner. Jagr up there with Holik trying to knock it loose. Lidstrom got it up around the boards, but it's kept in. Here's Nedved out along that blue line, just tucks it down into the corner. Nedved up to forecheck. Kept it at the line. Holik battling away. And they will tie it up. Face-off coming up. Great start. Both teams out of the blocks with some enthusiasm.
Well, both teams, both coaches, realize how important the first 6 or 7 minutes of this hockey game were. For Ludi Bukas, he knew that his hockey club had to instill some enthusiasm in this crowd. They had to get going, feel good about themselves and about this hockey game. For Kurt Lidstrom, behind the bench of the Swedish team, they not wanted to just survive the first 6 or 7 minutes in this very loud building, but they wanted to be good and disciplined.
And this is the first game in this tournament that is being played on the international size ice surface, 100 by 200. The rinks in both Stockholm and Helsinki had been adjusted to North American size, or NHL size. And the Czechs feel that could work to their advantage. Puck lofts it up, walking in, long, offside.
So loud in this building, you can't even hear the whistles. Robert Long was offside, no question about that. Ludi Bushak doing some changing around. Bukas was making sure that he got the message across. You better be ready. He benched Straka, Kuchera, Peter Sicora, and then he took out a whole defensive pairing of Zeber and Vikakul. He's put in Kabерле and Cadillac back at the point, and he's put in a brand new line of Prohaska, Patera, and Vivoda. So lots of changes for the Czechs. He's getting the message across.
You may recall Martin Prohaska, who will be in there. He scored the game-winning goal against Canada for the gold medal at the World Championship. A new addition to the Swedish lineup in this game, Peter Popovich. And he will start out. Popovich clears it up ahead. Alfredsson circling, looking for a bit of room. Reichel watching him. He clears it up ahead. Garpenlov goes after number 29 up there for Sweden. Forsberg comes up, number 21. Garpenlov battling up along the boards, trying to knock that puck loose. Comes out to Alfredsson. Knocked off of his stick. Fired in by Johansson. Rebound comes out. Forsberg goes after it. Popovich just floats one in. Turek will play that. And Rachinski comes back. Rachinski cuts in over the blue line. Popovich has it up to Alfredsson. Alfredsson mixing it up along the boards there with Yuri Шлегр behind the play. Both teams changing up on the fly. Good pace to start this one. Baranek down into the corner. Baranek, number 42, giving up the puck. Marcus Naslund trying to come back out for Sweden along the boards. He was tied up. Hammerlick was going to go back and play it, but Turek played it all the way up to center. Now Turek just keeps it up there for Roman Hammerlick. Up for Baranek, went off his skate. Big traffic jam there at the blue line. Puck picked up by Dahlen. Dahlen gets it up around back of the net. He's knocked down and a penalty coming up. It'll be the first penalty of the hockey game. Ulf Dahlen was hauled down in quest of that puck coming around back of the net.
Looks like Roman Hammerlick is going to go to the penalty box. Dahlen was dragged down. The Swedes get their opportunity on the power play. You can see that Dahlen got in behind Hammerlick and then put the grab on him. Spent a little bit of time with Roman Hammerlick today, and he felt that it was a big disappointment the way their hockey club played, but there was no question in his mind that they were just going to go out tonight and correct that problem. I talked to Martin Ruchinski before the hockey game. He felt the same thing. They were very upset the way that they played. They should have prepared much better. They know it now. They didn't do much about it then.
Yeah, but you brought up the good point that can you just turn it off and on like a switch?
Well, there's one thing that on paper we know, we said that at the start of this tournament, that this Czech team is a pretty talented team with good NHL veteran experience. They'll answer that question, Paul.
Here's Sundin shooting. Ripped that one in wide of the net. Forsberg going after it. P.Nedved moving up after that puck short-handed. SSoderström out to play it out of harm's way. Yager up there knocks his man down. Nedved shooting. SSoderström stopped it, and Yager almost converted on the rebound short-handed. Here comes Sundin charging back up in over the blue line. It's knocked away from him. 1:27 left in the power play. Sweden with the man advantage, but the Czech Republic with the two good scoring chances.
Yager's line heading off to the bench for a much-needed rest. I don't think that Yager's in great shape yet, folks.
Here comes Peter Forsberg. Up there with Garpenlaw. Back to the line. Lidstrom shooting it. He didn't miss by much with that blast. Fires another one and didn't get much on it. Here's Dahlen. Dahlen shoots. That's stopped. Rebound in front. Garpenlaw's after it. Scramble. And it's covered up. Lots of action around the net, and Turek holds the fort with 54 seconds to go in the power play.
Garpenlov and Cadillac doing some pushing and shoving. Lots of intensity in this hockey game. Turek has been standing his ground. He's been concentrating, focusing in on that puck, and doing a real good job of ending up with it. He had to reach big time here, pull that puck right back in with his stick. Meanwhile, you can see that Garpenlov was battling for that puck. And then he took a little bit of a cross-check right there from Cadillac.
Roman Turek, the gold medal goalie from the World Championship. He was voted the most valuable player in the tournament. He was outstanding for the Czech Republic. And he will have to be at least that in this tournament if the Czechs are to forge on to the final. Here's Sundin. Nylander dropped it down low. Forsberg was trying to work it in front. 37 seconds left in the power play. Nylander to Dahlen, cuts it in front of the net. That was stopped by Turek, and the puck cleared down the ice. 27 seconds to go on the power play for Sweden. Here's Lidstrom. Up ahead to Dahlen. Garpenlov going for the front of the net. So is Nylander. Nylander takes it. Sundin to Nylander. Drops it back to Sundin. Shoots. Turek is firing out the leg. Here's Nylander. Dahlen down low. Gets it down to him. Dahlen in front of the net. Garpenlov was charging through the slot but couldn't convert. Penalized player is back out there. The team's at even strength. Puck rolls out. Garpenlov fanned on that one. Lidstrom back at the blue line, flips it up. And the Czechs will start back. Teams at even strength. Holik gets it up ahead to Nedved. Jágr's out there too. This is the big triumvirate for the Czech Republic. Julien couldn't pick it up. Prohaska skating back to touch it. No icing. Prohaska up to Cadillac. Jágr streaking up there through center. They couldn't get the puck to him though. Up around the boards. Prohaska was looking for it. П.Попович moves up. He can't keep it in. 13:54 to go in the first period. 0-0 hockey game. Here's Jágr. Shoot! Nedved was up there, so was Prohaska. Neither could get his stick on it. Julien starting back now for Sweden. And another penalty coming up. Julien was pulled down along the boards. He got tangled up with Yuri Шлегр. And we'll sort this out for you. 13:40 to go in the first. 0-0. Sweden going on the power play for the second time in this hockey game. Yuri Шлегr goes off. He gets called for hooking.
He pulled Julien down right along the boards, neutral zone. You can't keep giving Sweden these type of opportunities. They're bound to score.
A familiar set position for Т.Сёдерстрём, the Swedish goaltender, back right into the net.
Yeah, he loves to get back in that cage.
Lidstrom moving it up ahead. Here comes Forsberg. Peter Forsberg moving up. Sundstrom out there as well. Sundin to Lidstrom. Shoot! And Turek got just enough of that as he kicked out the pad. Lidstrom has that red-hot shot from the point. You see it in the NHL on the power play, and you see it internationally as well. Alfredsson. Back to Sundin. Alfredsson drops it down low. Forsberg looking in front, centers it. And big stop there by Turek as he robbed Niklas Sundstrom.
I think Sundstrom thought he scored. There's a few in this building that thought he scored. Turek knew he did. Good setup by the Swedes. They're looking for that low opportunity. You can see that Sundstrom got that puck, and boy, he did the right thing with it. He tried to go right between the 5-0 on Turek. Turek had to scramble. A little unorthodox, his style, in making that save, but he got the job done.
Turek very quick. And we've seen a couple of good examples of that in this game so far. 1:14 still to go in the power play for Sweden. 12:54 to go in the first period. 0-0 hockey game. Sweden winning its first game of the tournament. The Czech Republic losing its first game.
Mentioned that I don't think Jaromir Jágr is in the best of shape yet. That can be understood in many ways. Jágr, as we mentioned in game number 1 with the Czechs, had his own team in early August. Team Jágr, they played for charity, helping sick kids out. But it wasn't an intense schedule of games by any means. It was all for fun, as he mentioned. I don't think he's in great shape yet, but I'll tell you what, this is the type of game that Jágr the entertainer could really turn this crowd on. They love him here in this country, and for a lot of reasons.
By far the biggest cheer when the players were introduced was for Jágr. Nylander up after the puck. Here's Garpenlov dipping back there. You notice a little bit more room back of the net on the international-sized ice. A little bit more room to make the play, work the puck around. .41 seconds left in the power play. Garpenlov tucking a pass up ahead to Nordstrom. Mattias Nordstrom down into the corner. Baranek watching him. They'll rough it up along the boards. Nordstrom trying to get it out. Back to the line now for Johansson. Nordstrom is open and moving in towards the goal. Nylander has it now. Nylander back to the line. Johansson shoots. That one stopped. And Dahlen couldn't get his stick in the rebound. 8 seconds left in the power play. SSöderström plays it up. The Czechs hurry in to change.
There's a good shot on net from the point by Johansson, but there was no one in front to get the rebound, and certainly not the screener try to tip that puck in.
Penalized player back out there. Шлегр tried to knock it back towards the front of the net. Шлегr out of the box and right into the play. Nedved shoots just wide. Nedved and Jágr out there now, trying to spark something. Holik gets it along, back of the boards, and it's cleared out. 11:05 to play in this opening period, 0-0 hockey game. Here comes Nelson. Puck fired up around the boards by Turek. Sundström trying to knock it down. Ülin up there after it. And the puck cleared down the ice by the Czechs. Back there to tag it up, M.Norstrёm. Icing is called on the Czech Republic. 0-0 with 10:44 to play in the first period. Welcome back to the Sport Hall in Prague in the Czech Republic. 0-0. Great battle going on in the first period. Sweden applying some pressure on a couple of power plays, but so far the Czechs and goaltender Roman Turek looking solid. Puck tucked out in front there. Anderson couldn't get a stick on the pass. Lidstrom moves it up. Here comes Sundin. Good! Matt Sundin with a great display of why he is a frontline centerman. Strength and acceleration, and he gets Sweden on the board.
He can play any forward position. He has played the point in the power play, and he, folks, is definitely in shape. Top shape. So is this whole Swedish team. He just broke right in, flew right by Cadillac, and then put that puck right by Turek. Matt Sundin, who played a great game, game number 1. He's doing the same here in game number 2. He goes to the backhand and found the room by Turek.
Sundin gets the goal at 9:42. Robert Long up there after it off the faceoff, but it's cleared back out. Sикora gets it up around the boards. Kelly Johansson hustling back after it. Fires it up around for Forsberg. Got by him. And Michael Sикora back to get it again. Up to Robert Long. Broken up there at the blue line. П.Попович moves it up ahead. Forsberg spun around. Puck fire by Alfredsson, but here's Garpenlov.
You don't see Kenny Jonsson on the blue line tonight. He's a healthy scratch. He didn't play well in game 1.
Garpenlov trying to break through there. The puck skipped by him and right to Turek, who holds on to it.
Jonsson was pulled in place of П.Попович, who was ready to play after a slight injury. Meanwhile, Ken Forsberg also did a little battling here, replacing Johansson with Naslund. Marcus Naslund in the lineup tonight.
And Michael Nylander moving in to take the faceoff against Yuri Dopita. Шлегр fires it up around the boards. Nylander after it, but it skipped by him. So Sweden with the 1-0 lead. Matt Sundin scoring the goal. Nylander banks it back. That's whistled in by Turek. Johansson up after it along the boards. Roger Johansson trying to get that puck loose. It was worked towards the front, but nobody home for Sweden. Here's Baranek. Hammerlick tried to send it cross ice, knocked away. Naslund looking for it. And the Swedes will change him up in the go. The Czechs will get in a couple changes as well as Hammerlick starts back. Hammerlick, long shot. Stopped by Söderström. Jögr closing in after the rebound. Holik couldn't get there either. And back comes Sundin. Sundin up in over the blue line. Anderson is with him. And that's broken up. Holik with it. Anderson couldn't pick it up. Sundin up there forechecking. Sundin really hopping in this game. Up there after that puck, but Holik picks it up. Holik gets it across to Jögr. Jögr in over the blue line, had to turn back. Holik went in offside.
Lidström, the Finnish coach, eagerly watching the way that the Swedes perform tonight. And P.Forsberg, the Swedish coach, hoping that'll be a great performance. A very interesting game coming up Sunday night in the Globe Arena.
7:40 to play in the first period. 1-0, Sweden leading on a goal from Mats Sundin. 1-0, Sweden is on top in this one. I'm Paul Romanuk along with Gary Green at the Sport Hall in Prague in the Czech Republic. And this is for sure the best game we have seen over in this European pool. The first three lopsided. But this one so far, a couple of spirited teams really battling in front of a jam-packed and enthusiastic crowd. Here comes Julin, cranking it up to the blue line. Julin coming up, Bergqvist is with him, drops it out to Bergqvist. He lets it go back for Johansson. He got crossed up, and the Czechs will come back. Lead pass. Vivoda backhands it in. Söderström looks up, saw three Czech players coming in, and decides to hang on.
Some of the Czech players seem to be ailing a little bit on the bench. We saw P.Nedved earlier being addressed on the bench. He seemed to have a problem right in his right leg. He had the ice pack on it just above his knee. .706 to go in the first period.
And whether or not Nedved is hurting, as you pointed out, we did see him with some ice, and they were putting some kind of a freezing ointment on his thigh as well. So we'll keep our eye on P.Nedved during his next shift. Garpenlov up after the puck. Comes around, Lidstrom there at the blue line. Nordstrom clearing that puck in. Here comes Robert Long. Long clears it down into the corner. Reichel up after it. He'll pick it up, tried to tuck it back in front for Long. Now Long's got it. Looking around, Roshinsky was in front of the goal, but that play kind of fizzles out. The puck cleared down the ice. Hammerlick has it. Hammerlick again. Baranek tapping it down. Here's Lidstrom. Naslund. Marcus Naslund up to the blue line. He's spun around. Kadlec with it. 5:59 to play first period. 1-0. Sweden lead. Baranek up to the blue line.
Very difficult for the Czechs to be able to penetrate that blue line on the Swedes. That was a 2-on-4. Four Swedish players back there in the neutral zone at the blue line, setting up a wall.
And they tie it up along the boards. We'll get a face-off with 5:46 to go. What's the matter? You can't beat four guys at once.
Well, I'll tell you, there are a few of the players on Czechoslovakia that are capable of it. There you see Robert Long also getting attended to. Jögr seemed to be hurting a little bit on the bench, and there you see it's Jögr's, or I should say Long's, left arm. It's above the wrist. Tough battle out here tonight.
Puck cleared up ahead. Marcus Naslund going after it. Naslund getting up to the corner. And he'll battle his way back towards the front of the net as Älbelin shovels it in. Here's Nylander. Nylander dropping it off. Baranek. Long, weak shot. That's deflected away by Söderström. Baranek up along the boards, trying to dig it back. He gets it to the corner for Dopita. Back in front. Baranek is out there. So's Sicora. And a penalty coming up
I don't know who's getting it there. They were both rolling and tussling around, both Naslund and Bonk.
It's a holding call. And the infraction taking place right in front of referee Dan Marouelli. It is Sweden that will be penalized.
It's Naslund that's in the penalty box. They were both doing some hooking and holding. Obstruction. Holding was the call on Naslund. Bonk was the man that was being held.
Czech Republic with its first power play of the hockey game and a chance to get on the scoreboard. Jágr dropping it down low for Nedved. Nedved tried to get it to Halik. That's the threesome up front. Hammerlick is back at the blue line along with Yuri Шлегр. So Coach Ludi Bukas getting the big guns up there right off the bat on this power play. And get a big rise into this home crowd. Get them back into the game. Halik along the boards. Trying to work it loose in tandem with Nedved. Here's Jágr. Jágr checked along the boards. Good persistence by Sundin. Here comes Sundin. Jágr watching him, but Sundin got it back. Good shot by Sundström. Sundin is on fire in this game so far. Here comes Jágr back the other way. Jágr looking, tried to center it in front. Sundström stopped it. Amazing shot. Soderstrom kicked that away after Шлегр whistled it on goal. Here's Hammerlick.
Good defensive play by Niklas Sundström. He just anticipated that pass right in the high slot, picked it off perfectly.
45 seconds left in the Czech power play. Long pass up there, Robert Long, almost lurking in the weeds and coming out with the puck. But he couldn't catch up with it at the blue line without putting himself offside. 42 seconds left in the power play.
Niklas Sundström for the New York Rangers, good hockey player. He reads the play well. Barry Smith was commenting on how well he's played. Tommy Soderstrom, of course, getting the start tonight because Tommy Salo is out. But one Tommy to another, Tommy Soderstrom from the New York Islanders.
Johan Hedberg is the backup goaltender.
Remember, Tommy Soderstrom was the goaltender with 5 heart operations he had, and one of them this past year.
Those operations to correct an irregular heartbeat.
Yeah, he left the game in October this year in the NHL schedule. Returned 3 weeks later.
Czechs in the power play. Puck tipped in front. And Soderstrom grabs onto that as Long tipped it on the way in. Boy, his heart may well have skipped a beat there. Close call.
I don't think there was any question by the Swedish team that they were very confident in Tommy Soderstrom's capabilities at coming in and filling that role. Rucinski, as mentioned earlier, was ready for tonight's hockey game. He's got great speed and acceleration. He can really pick it up. He had an excellent year when he came across to the Montreal Canadiens. Rucinski had 25 goals and 35 assists in just 56 games. Canadians expecting big things from him.
Yeah, he was 4th in scoring on the Canadiens after the trade. Eight seconds to go in the power play for the Czech Republic. 3:05 to go in this first period. 1-0 Sweden leading on a goal from Matt Sundin. Robert Long moves it up there. Long takes the return feed, couldn't hang on to it. Johansson was watching him. Long trying to move it for Rucinski. Here's Long. Here's a chance. And they can't get the shot away. Long got it in front to Dopita, but he misfired. Nylander flying back the other way. Trying to work it up into the corner. He gets it there. Naslund looking for it. Naslund and Nylander along the board. Dahlen is up there as well. Puck rolls. Johansson looking for it. He was checked by Rucinski. And meanwhile, down in the ice, back in the corner, there's an injured Czech player.
Some pushing and shoving going on when the whistle finally blew. You can see that the team doctor and trainer are taking quite a time to get out there. I'm still not sure who that player was. Now there you see. He's being attended to. Yuri Dopita, it seems, went down and is now being helped up. They didn't consult with him a great deal. Just kind of lifted him right back up, dragging him off.
Yuri Dopita Just missed a scoring chance at one end and heading back into the Czech zone.
Seemed to have been favoring that right leg. Defeated, went in, took the body.
And he goes down awkwardly.
Watch it from this angle. Watch Depita as he goes into the boards. He falls backwards. And it appeared that the right leg may have just buckled a little unusually. And there you can see he is having that right leg addressed. Depita was one of the Czech players that had some zips in game number 1. He played in the last 3 consecutive World Championships and, of course, was on the gold medal winning team this past year.
He led his Czech club team in scoring during the regular season. .222 to play in this first period. 1-0 is the score. Sweden is leading the Czech Republic. Here's Lidström. Jágr, Nedved, and Holik out there for the Czech Republic. Their best offensive line. Lidström getting it up ahead. That was Andersson trying to come in. That's broken up. N.Norstrёm. Here's Jágr with it. Has Nedved to his right. And Jágr stripped of the puck there at the line by Andersson, coming back the other way. Sundin is with him. So is Sundström. Sundström will give chase into the corner. And Jágr starts back. Holik comes in over the blue line. Offside called on the Czech Republic.
But every time that the Czechs get the puck, it seems, in the neutral zone and are looking for the offensive zone, they're also looking at 4 blue sweaters. Twice on that shift. First of all, 2-on-4, led by Jágr. Then it was 3-on-4. The Swedes are very disciplined at their defensive play and pride themselves in it.
Well, the neutral zone trap that you've heard so much about the last few years being employed in the NHL actually has its roots in Sweden.
Swedish teams have always been very good defensively, and Barry Smith has brought the Swedish defensive style, the left wing lock to Detroit, where it was very effective for the Red Wings.
Prohaska cutting towards the front of the net. Raczynski trying to get it out to him. Vivoda up there as well. Vivoda working along the boards. Prohaska comes in. Prohaska tapping it down for Vivoda. Vivoda with it. Prohaska going to the front of the net. Pass was behind him. Kabерлé shoots. He had moved in from the blue line and had trouble controlling the puck. Raczynski whacking at it. Less than a minute to go in the first period.
I enjoy watching the Swedish team play, Paul. In their own end zone, they have great confidence in each other. They play as a team, they backhand each other up, but they do their job.
Forsberg gets it across. Sharpenlov in front to Forsberg, and it bounced away from him. 34 seconds left in the period. Czechs break in. Raczynski fired one. That wobbles into the corner. Reichel up there after it. Here comes Raczynski up, throwing his weight around. Reichel's trying to get it in front. He's battling away. Raczynski looking for long in front of the net. 15 seconds left. Raczynski along the boards. He and Julin get tied up and the puck comes out. And that's just lofted back in with 5 seconds to go.
The Czechs have answered the question for 1 period, Paul. They're ready to play. Have they got enough for period number 2?
The Swedes with the only goal in the first period. Mats Sundin gets it at 9:42. Sweden won, the Czech Republic nothing. And a very spirited first period of play.
The Swedish team right now look as though even before the puck is dropped that they know what their mission is for this second period. Team defense, wins hockey games as far as they're concerned, and especially when you've got the lead.
Swedes had a couple of power play chances in that first period. The Czechs had one. Neither team coming up with a power play goal. And the Czechs are going to start things off with Jaromír Jágr out there in the ice. Every time he touches the puck, you just hear a tremendous rise from the crowd. It's going to be Jágr, Holik, and Nedved out there to start things off for the Czech Republic in the second period. Roman Hammerlock back to pick it up. Sundström up to watch him. Here's Nedved. Nedved being watched by Sundin, who had just a great first period for Sweden. Sundström tucks it up and ahead. Anderson shoots. He ripped that one and did not miss by much. Big shot from Michael Anderson.
What a bullet of a drive. He was looking for that short side. He wasn't far off.
Here's Sundström. Sliding it back there for Lidstrom. He moves it up. Puck just bounced into the corner by Nordstrom, and the Swedes will change him up in the go as Roman Hammerlock comes back out to center. Tried to hit Jágr with a feed there, but icing is called on the Czech Republic. Just underway in the second period, 19:07 to go, and it is 1-0, Sweden on top.
Well, all of the officials on the ice tonight are in their own equipment. They have all of their own equipment. Gary Fraser, by the way, who we'll see tomorrow night in Garmisch, Germany, got his equipment back the other day. And finally, the supervisor in charge of officials, Brian Lewis, got his luggage today, Paul. He feels like a brand new man tonight here supervising this game.
Yeah, and we finally got a close game, so everything's starting to fall into place as it should.
Exactly.
The officials have their luggage. Puck fired by Johansson, scores! Kelly Johansson right off the faceoff. And Turek got a piece of it, but just a piece.
Face off their key. We haven't talked a lot about this man, the son of the Swedish coach, П.Форсберg. He went to the net. The big drive by Johansson. Kelly Johansson's got an excellent shot. That puck did just trickle by Turek, giving the Swedes a 2-0 lead and an even more comfortable means of playing defense.
Puck flicked down into the corner. Garpenlov up there after it along with Forsberg. Alfredsson gets it back. Johansson tried to power another one through. Alfredsson tied up. Garpenlov up there after it. Slides it for Forsberg. Alfredsson along the boards for Sweden. Johansson at the line. Chips it up into the corner. Here's Forsberg. And the puck comes out. Kalle Johansson with it. Garpenlov coming up the middle. The puck knocked away from him. Prohaska got his glove on it. Now Daniel Alfredsson will clear it in and head to the bench. Sweden making some changes on the go. Kabерлé clearing it down into Swedish territory. And trying to get away there was Naslund. No penalty called. Naslund was pulled down as he went after the puck. Here's Hammerlock. Nylander clearing it back in. Hammerlock back to pick it up. 17:40 to go in the second period. 2-0 Sweden leading. Kalle Johansson scoring the second goal for Sweden at the 57-second mark of the second period. Right off a face-off on a shot that just got by Roman Turek. Here's Baranek for the Czech Republic. Works it up around to Шлегр. Älbelin knocks that down. Radek Bomb trying to get around him. Söderström plays it into the corner. And play whistle down with 17-13 to go in this second period.
The question for the Czech team right now is who's their leader on this hockey club? They're down by a couple of goals. The Swedes are well in control defensively, offensively. Who's the player on the bench right now for the Czechs that's going to get this hockey club going? You would think that it's going to be Jaromir Jagr. He's the man with the talent. He's the guy that likes to put on the show. I'm not sure that that's the case, though. Not in this tournament right now. I think that perhaps a player like Gruchinski has the capabilities of coming out and really turning it on right now, but they are lacking in that leadership department. They don't have 2 or 3 real key guys that are going to take the ball right now and run with it.
Well, and you also talked about conditioning. If this pace keeps up the way it did in the first period, I've got to think the Swedes would be able to outlast the Czech team simply because they're in better shape. They are better conditioned at this stage of the tournament. But look at Jagr. He gets it out in front. And Holik fires it wide. Nedved trying to center it. Play whistle down. And a penalty coming up. It is going to go against the Czech Republic. 2-0 Sweden leading here in the second period of power play when we come back. Jaromir Jagr in the penalty box calls for interference, much to the chagrin of the pro-Czech crowd.
Well, we just talked about Jagr and who's the leader on this hockey club. Jagr looked a little frustrated when he took that penalty. Now we'll see how the Swedes react. If they were to score in this power play, that might make for a very fragile Czech team.
Yeah, a team whose collective confidence you could slowly see making its way back in that first period. We'll see how mentally tough they are. Forsberg comes back to Lidstrom, gets it over. Sundin smoked one. He fired that one for the top shelf. And a nice grab by Turek. And a little pushing and shoving after the whistle.
Well, Sundin was right there. He was looking for the screen, the deflection, whatever he could. And he just stood his ground. Turek, on the other hand, had what he was looking for, and that was the puck. Turek's played pretty well in this hockey game. Down by a couple of goals, but you can't really fault Turek on any of them.
How do you like Sundin back there at the point on the power play?
Hey, you can put Matt Sundin any place but goal, and I'd be pretty happy out there to have him as a coach. Sundin's a smart hockey player. He reads the play really well. He's got great skill levels. Good shot. What more can you ask of a hockey player? Put him any place.
Well, he's at the left point for this power play. Plays back there with another power play veteran, Н.Лидстрём, in the Swedish lineup. 1:30 to go on the man advantage for Sweden. The Swedes are up by a score of 2-0. Alfredsson just chipping it up down into the corner. Holik gets back there, has to move quickly, but he gets it ahead. Here comes Nedved, short-handed. Nedved works that puck around, eats up some time, and finally gives it up. Lidstrom, slickly to center. Works it up ahead. Alfredsson gets it there. Sundin closing in. Alfredsson knocks it down. Up around to Sundin. Sundin along the boards. Here's Lidstrom. Forsberg's going towards the front of the net. Lidstrom pounds it on goal. Rebound comes out. Alfredsson bearing down on it. He's knocked to the ice. Шлегр almost got it up ahead to Peter Nedved. He was scot-free if he had the puck. Sundin comes in. Drops it back. Forsberg works it up. Sundin chops at it. That's knocked away. Hammerlock after it in the corner. Puck up along the boards. Lidstrom, there's the blue line. 27 seconds to go in the power play.
On the first scoring opportunity the Swedes had on that power play, Niklas Sundström was doing an excellent job of standing in front of Turek. In fact, I wasn't quite sure, did Turek make that save or did it hit Sundström?
Garpenlov after it up along the boards. Kicks it back to the blue line. Dahlen is down low. Garpenlov trying to work it to him. Broken up by Jaromir Kádlec. And Kádlec gets it down the ice. And that will do it for the power play. Jagr back out there. And he'll get right into the center of things, no doubt. The Czech Republic down 2-0. They need a goal to spark something. Here's Jagr. He's just the man who can do it. Gets it up ahead to Long. climbing his way down into the corner. Jágr after it, and play is called. A penalty coming up, and it's another call against the Czechs, and the ice is littered with beer cans and drink cups. They are not happy at all with the officiating of Dan Marouэлli.
Hey, how could you not make that call? That was a penalty all the way around. But to be littering the ice with everything from bottles right now to cans is ludicrous. Somebody's going to get hurt out there. These aren't plastic rats they're throwing. These are cans. Tin cans and bottles. Ridiculous. You be the judge, folks. You don't think that was a penalty? If that's not obstruction, I don't know what these fans are used to. Robert Long couldn't have been guiltier. And these fans, for some reason, reacted violently by throwing all of this debris on the ice.
The Czech Republic has only had one power play chance in this hockey game. The penalty calls have definitely favored Sweden so far. But yeah, that last example, how could Dan Marouэлli not call that?
Well, look at this, though. I mean, would you want to be a player out there with all of those cans? Either team. These fans aren't thinking well when they do things like that. I thought they were much better hockey fans than that here in Czechoslovakia.
Although, you know what? I'm guessing that most of the beer cans were empty.
Yeah. So what? Look at that. You get hit with one of those, and that takes a player's eye and his career right out. I don't see a lot of ushers in the stands here doing much about it. In fact, I'm straining to see one. My conclusion is they're not here. They're at the gate where we saw them in this building.
Thank you, Sherlock.
Yeah. Well, it could get ugly, though. Slava Leonard, the former Calgary Flames assistant coach. If the Swedes were to score on this power play opportunity, look out.
So another power play chance for Sweden. Nursing a 2-0 lead. And Nецкарж just clearing it down into Swedish territory. The Swedes will set up. Jágr and Nedved out there as penalty killers. So that's an offensive threat, even short-handed. Garpenlov sliding it down to the corner. Nylander trying to get in front. Dowling out there as well. That was Garpenlov who was dumped. Michael Sicora carries it out to center. Jágr there to pick it up. Sicora was in offside. He'd lost his footing and wasn't able to get out before Jágr carried the puck in. Still 1:28 to go on the power play.
Jágr's looked a little bit frustrated. He hasn't been able to do the things that he's used to being able to do in the National Hockey League. He was in mid-season form right now. He'd be taking advantage of this big ice surface. He's not. In game number one, Jágr had great difficulties of being able to beat defensemen on the outside. That's not Jaromir Jágr. He's one talented hockey player.
Here comes Lidstrom. Lidstrom getting it across. Nylander just carries it in. Nylander gets it down into the corner. Nylander will take it back. Bit of traffic down in front of Hasek. Nylander back to Lidstrom. Not able to handle that pass. And the puck comes out with 55 seconds to go on the power play. Braddock Bach getting tied up there with Nylander. Meanwhile, the puck comes in. Sundin trying to battle his way up. He was checked. Garpenlov going after it for Sweden, but Halik holds him off. And just eating up time, Yuri Шлегр takes a little spin, gets it to Hammerluck, back to Шлегr. 30 seconds left in the power play as the puck is cleared down the ice.
Ulf Dahlin, the 9-year veteran of the National Hockey League, is sure a valuable man still out there in the ice in the National Hockey League and certainly for Team Sweden.
In over the blue line, Sundin is on the fly, gives off to Alfredsson, back to Sundin, back to the line, Johansson shoots, that's knocked down on the way through. Here's Forsberg. Peter Forsberg has Sundstrom in front, they work it around, comes back to Sundin. Down low to Forsberg, trying to center it in front. Puck comes back to Sundin. Penalized player back out there. Sweden still with the pressure on. And Turek will hang on to it. Alfredsson fired it in there on goal. 12:17 to play in the second period. Sweden up 2-0. Teams at even strength, 12:17 to play in the second period, and welcome back to the Sport Hall in Prague in the Czech Republic. I'm Paul Romanov with Gary Green. Great to have you with us for our continuing coverage of the World Cup of Hockey. North American action kicks off tonight. Canada playing Russia. What a huge game that is. But a big one going on here in Prague. The Czechs trying to get back on equal footing here in this tournament after losing the first game decisively to Finland. And Sweden looking to keep things on a roll as they look ahead to a big game against the Finns on Sunday.
But obviously the Czechs with a far better performance in this hockey game. They're not out of it yet. Down by a couple is tough against this team, as we talk so often about. When they've got the lead, this is a very difficult team to play against because they lock the neutral zone. They're great defensively in their own end. It's tough to be able to penetrate.
Here's Johansson with it. Johansson looking for a couple of options. And chooses the one on the left wing, but the pass doesn't click. And icing is called. Yulin wasn't able to wheel that pass in.
The Czechs right now are going to have to find that speed, that breakaway speed to the neutral zone. If they're forced to dump it in, they've got lots of room there with the international ice surface. They've got to use that speed then to be able to get possession of that puck down deep. They've got to find ways of testing Tommy Söderström.
Kelly Johansson has one of the goals for Sweden in this game. Ulf Dahlin, the veteran, has looked solid as well.
There's this Czech line that was inserted for the game tonight. Patera, Prohaska, and Vivoda.
Dahlin trying to come away off the draw. Naslund with it as well. Johansson clears it back there. П.Попович.
This line for the Czechs helped this hockey club win the gold medal at the World Championships. That their coach is hoping that the same will occur from them tonight.
Here's Vivoda, moves it up ahead. Patera almost knocked that down. Vivoda gives chase along the boards. Prohaska over there as well. The puck cleared out. It actually hit a player on the Czech bench, so we get a whistle with 11:12 to go in the second period.
Bukash inserted that line because he felt that he needed to send a message, but also he needed some unity on this team. He needed a line out there that played on the gold-winning team in this year's World Championship that could bring some cohesiveness to this Czech team that were far from that in game number one.
Yeah, when you compare them to the Russian team and look at the veteran leadership on that club, Makarov, Larionov, there really is nobody of that stature in Czech hockey playing on this team. No sort of living legend for the players to look up to.
Well, you very seldom win any major tournament or event if the inmates are running the asylum.
And referring to Larionov and Makarov as living legends is not overstating it when you're talking about hockey in Russia. Those two idolized and looked up to by players in that system. Puck dropped off of the line. Kabерлé couldn't get the shot in towards the net. Puck steered in over the blue line. Alfredsson wired that one well wide. Swedes will get in a couple of changes. Czechs will do the same. Puck just flipped out to center. Älbelin fires it back in for Sweden. Mats Sundin up there after it. Sundin trying to scoop it out towards the front of the net. Jager's out there. He knocks it up ahead to Patera. Jager in over the blue line. Patera going for the front of the net. Nedved out there too. Here's Patera back of the goal. Nedved comes up to help out. Tried to center it. Jager shoots. Couldn't get the shot on net. Into the corner. Lidstrom chops at it. And play is whistled down with 9:59 to go.
That's more along the lines of what the Czechs have got to do. They've got to get that puck in deep, and then they've got to concentrate on winning the battles. Winning the battles in the corners and in front of the net. When they start doing that, they'll start getting some scoring opportunities. The Swedish team also has great capabilities, Paul, of being able to take the tempo away from you. Start to slow the game down. Blocking the neutral zone. Making the easy play in the defensive zone. That can take the motivation, the tempo level, away from the opposition. Czechs have got to fight against that.
Jager up there after it. Nedved too. Holik is the other forward. Sundin trying to come away for Sweden. Gets it up ahead. In over the blue line now. Anderson fired that up, and it's grabbed and held by Turek.
Turek just taking the safe and easy road. No blaming him for that. Peter Nedved, who's pretty good on face-offs, is heading to the bench, it appears. Turek, look how well he's playing the angles, and he's way out the top of his crease to cut the angle down, and then just makes the easy glove save. And there is no way with the Swedes going to the net well that he could throw that puck away. That's something that the Swedes did very well in game number one. They went to the net. They were looking for their one weakness they felt they had, and that was their finishing off ability. In game one, that was not a problem.
Patera was looking for that puck. Garpenlov on his knees, works to the corner. Forsberg up there with him. Here's Nецкарж. Stanislav Nецкарж. Long pass up ahead to Radek Bach.
Look at the Swedes in the neutral zone. Try to make a pass. Just try it.
Patera failed to make one there. Alfredsson up after the puck. Here's Garpenlov. Back around to Alfredsson. Back for Garpenlov. Alfredsson going towards the front of the net. Garpenlov came out himself and tried to tuck it in. Didn't quite have enough room on the short side, and this is Baranek coming back. Up there with Radek Bach. Baranek up along the boards. Bach in there battling away. Baranek was circling in the corner as well, but the rush broken up. And both teams will seize the opportunity to make a couple of changes. Kabерлé throwing it up ahead to Reichel. Reichel gets it in over the blue line. Raczynski trying to get that shot on goal. Raczynski in the corner. He's knocked down. A penalty coming up against Sweden. And when we come back, the Czech Republic will crank it up on the power play with 8:24 to go in the second.
Big 6'6", 235-pound Peter Popovich is in the penalty box. Hooking's the call. Watch Popovich do. He does kind of the flamingo here. By lifts that left leg comes up, he makes sure that he doesn't put it back down. And he didn't put it back down, and he held it up for quite some time after that replay to avoid any injury to the opposition. The Czechs are on the power play. They better take advantage of it. This is a good chance for them.
Past the halfway point of the hockey game of regulation time. 2-0. Sweden is leading. Johansson trying to jar that puck loose. Out there with Älbelin. Here's Raczynski. Working back of the net. Gets it to Robert Long. Reichel chopping at it. Raczynski, number 25, up along the boards. And it's clear down the ice.
You see that Bukash came back with Raczynski here. I think he's really looking at him to get the spark for this hockey club.
1:24 to go on the power play for the Czech Republic. Ghamrlik hammers it in. Johansson gets there first, rings it around the boards, and down the ice, 1:15 to go on the power play.
Jágr's line's ready to roll.
Here's Ghamrlik. Drops it back.
Jágr's been sitting on the bench with both legs over on the ice for the last 20 seconds.
He's over the boards and into the action. Jágr throwing it back to Nedved. It comes up for Ghamrlik. Shoot! Rising shot. Rose a little too quickly. And the puck is tapped past Шлегр and out to center. 45 seconds left in the power play. Here's Ghamrlik. Шлегр back to pick it up. Here comes Nedved. Jágr coming up to center with him on the left-hand side. Holik is there too. Here comes Holik. Forsberg hot on his heels. Gave him a bump. Шлегr at the blue line. Nedved. Back up for Jágr. Jágr back up for Шлегr. Spinning, waiting, passing. Jágr can't get a shot away. He'll give chase in there. 10 seconds left in the power play. And the Swedes, it appears, will weather the storm.
Good play by Н.Норстрём. He was able to get that puck out. The Czechs worked a lot yesterday in practice on their power play. Bukash wished they had a lot longer.
Holik lost the puck there. The penalized player is back on. The team's all at even strength. Score! Jonas Bergqvist! Jonas Bergqvist puts Sweden up by a score of 3-0 with a heartbreaking goal for the Czechs.
Bergqvist really played well in game number one. Great spark, but watch this. This is just a killer for the Czechs. Bergqvist picked the short side, and he picked it perfectly. Watch, he's got his head up. He had to fight to get possession of that puck. He threaded the needle right between the legs of Roman Ghamrlik, who was backing in, and watch Turek. He didn't have a lot of room, that is Bergqvist, to find that spot, but short side he did, and that was not a good one on Turek.
In terms of games played internationally, Bergqvist is the veteran on this Swedish team, and he gets a big goal right there, coming right on the heels of a Czech power play. The Czechs fail to score, can't turn the momentum around, and then the Swedes give themselves just a little bit more with that goal. Jonas Bergqvist getting it at 13:44. And it is 3-0 for the Three Crowns. Kabерлé in over the blue line for the Czech Republic. Up around back of the net, Patera gets it back along the boards for Vivoda. Vivoda and Patera trying to work it around. Prahashka out there as well. Kabерлé back after it. And Prahashka gets tangled up. The puck rolls out in front. And Nylander almost jumping on that loose puck. Here's Tommy Älbelin with it for Sweden. 5:08 to play in the period. We are in period number 2, and Sweden is leading 3-0. Baranek trying to go for the front of the net. Dallin throws that ahead. Nецкарж. Across for Sикora. Nylander chopped it away from him. Here's Holik. Up to Bonk. And Radek Bonk clearing it in. Nецкарж trying to get free up there. Baranek as well. Sикora after it. Nецкарj is the one-man back, but the 2-on-1 disappears. Backhand shot right on by Nylander, but that was stopped by Hasek.
Czechs are out of gas.
Pardon me, that was stopped by Turek. They wish Hasek had been here to make that save. Here's Alfredsson. Alfredsson back up and into the play. He was tied up there by Bonk and not able to get the shot away. Here comes Baranek. Winding it over the blue line. Has Bonk going for the net. Baranek shoots. Söderström stopped that. And the rebound cleared out.
Great back checking by Alfredsson.
Forsberg up after it. He bumped into Turek. Hammerlock just clearing it out to center. It bounces past N.Lidstroem. Rushinsky moving up there. Rushinsky up along the boards. Knifes that one on goal, and it's grabbed and held by Т.Сёдерстрём. 3:43 to play in this second period. Sweden is leading 3-0. You're watching the World Cup of hockey. Sweden, he got it at 13:44. I mentioned him being a veteran. He's one of only 11 players with 200 or more games with the national team. And in case you were wondering, if you're a fan of Swedish hockey trivia, the all-time games played leader for the national team is Thomas Rundqvist, who was actually a one-time property of the Montreal Canadiens.
And is now playing in Austria along with Ben Gustafsson.
Here's Rushinsky. Gets it back to the blue line. Pounded in there by Sikora, but couldn't hit the mark. Rushinsky up after it. Long trying to chase it down. Anderson clearing it out at center. Hammerlock intercepting that. 3 minutes and 15 seconds to go in the second period. It is 3-0 Sweden leading. Up to the line, Sundin coming down the left side with that puck. Sundin looking in front. Sandstrom's out there. Tried to get it out in front, but the pass didn't get to him. This is Reichel in over the blue line. Reichel up there with Rushinsky.
Good defensive coverage by Robert Long, though, back in his own end zone. He was back in deep, helping out, and picked that pass off as the Swedes tried to center it.
Cadillac out to center. Bergqvist gave him a bump. Nedved couldn't hang on to it. Kabерлé bouncing that in. The two-hopper fielded expertly by Tä.Sёdерström. Here comes Bergqvist. Looked as though he was going for the short side again, but that one was blocked by Kabерлé. Holikin along the boards in his own end. He was tied up. Bergqvist grappling away down there, trying to come up with it. Here's Cadillac. 2 minutes and 10 seconds to play in the second period. This is Petr Nedved for the Czech Republic. Blocked up at the line. Nifty play by Alfredsson. He shoots and bounced that one wide.
Those are the type of plays where Petr Nedved makes them that as a coach you'd like to just put him on the end of the bench for the rest of the game. Trying to beat a man coming out of his own end zone and coughs it up.
Here's Alfredsson up back of the net. Alfredsson takes the scenic route around. Gets it back up ahead there for Nylander. Can't get it in front.
Czechs are kind of reverting to the form they did in game number 1, Paul, when they were trying to do it all by themselves. That's why they're trying to get back into this hockey game. Individual moves. That won't work.
That was gloved ahead, so play whistled down with 1:29 to go in the second period. What's the old song? You gotta have heart.
You gotta have heart. You gotta have team togetherness. And you're not going to beat this Swedish hockey club by going end-to-end on any one individual player. I don't care whether you're Jaromir Jagr or Petr Nedved. You're not going to do it. You've got to work together as a hockey club out there right now, and the Czechs aren't doing a good job of it. Talked about the good defensive effort by a guy like Robert Long. Here's the guy that's playing for the Los Angeles Kings. He looks like a hockey player. He's 6'2". He's 190 pounds. He can control the puck. He's got good skill levels. He only scored 6 goals last year in the National Hockey League. He had a great World Championship, though, for the Czechoslovakian team, helping them win the gold. You keep thinking that he's going to finally break out offensively. We didn't see it in game 1, and still in game 2. We're waiting.
Patera moving up there after it, number 10 for the Czech Republic. Tä.Sёdерström knocking that one away. 1:10 to play here in period number 2. Turek out there to park it. Vivoda bouncing it up off the boards. Patera couldn't catch up to it. Less than a minute to go in the period. Puck centered in front. Here's Sundin, and he couldn't cradle it to get the shot away.
Czechs just can't catch this Swedish team. The Swedes' breakout right now is not very good. Their counterattack has been poor. They're slow, and they're not outskating the Swedes at all. The Swedes, even when they do get caught in, Paul, are able to get back in the neutral zone before the Czechs can do much with it.
Offside pass there. Yeah, the only other team that we've seen with comparable speed in this European pool so far, clearly the Finns, who are 2-0, which, again, just paints a picture for what should be a great matchup on Sunday.
And the Swedes were trying not to look ahead to that game, but it was very difficult. When I talked to Coach П.Форсберг before the game, he knew the importance, of course, of this hockey game. He knew the importance of winning it, so they go in on even sides against Finland on a very big game on Sunday night.
It will be a big game in this tournament because it will probably be for first place in the European pool, but it is much, much bigger than that. There is a tremendous hockey rivalry between Sweden and Finland. A rivalry in general. Athletics, academics, everything. Puck bounced up off the boards. Johansson picks it up. K.Juhansson. Bergqvist deflecting that out. Ghammerlik skating over, and the fans whistling their displeasure with the home team after 2 periods. The Czechs are trailing Sweden by a score of 3-0. A tall order for the Czech Republic in the 3rd period. We will see if they can answer it.